Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We have breaking developments in Central Asia that are sending shockwaves across the region. Reports are emerging that the United States may be secretly funding an Arab nation to take control of a key Afghan airbase. This move could reshape the regional power balance and put Iran directly on alert. Sources from intelligence circles claim that Washington is quietly negotiating with a Gulf state to secure operational rights over an abandoned U.S. airbase in northern Afghanistan. This base, once used by American forces during the war, is now reportedly being eyed for a major military revival. Analysts say this could be a strategic play to counter Iran's growing influence and monitor Russia and China's activities in the region. Since the U.S. withdrawal in 2021, Afghanistan has become a geopolitical vacuum, and this new push appears to be an attempt to re-establish some presence without direct American boots on the ground. Local Afghan sources say aircraft and supplies have been spotted moving near the airfield over the past few weeks. Although no official announcement has been made, satellite images reportedly show construction and increased security presence, fueling speculation that foreign funding is behind the operation. What's raising eyebrows is that this effort seems to be led by one of Washington's closest Arab partners, possibly the United Arab Emirates or Saudi Arabia, both of which have deep financial and strategic ties with the Pentagon. If confirmed, this could indicate a covert alliance to control a key piece of Afghan territory for Iran. This development is deeply concerning. The airbase in question lies within surveillance range of its eastern border. Tehran's military command has already raised its alert level, fearing that the base could soon host surveillance drones or long-range reconnaissance systems aimed at monitoring Iranian movements. Iranian state media has condemned the reports, calling it a Western plot to encircle the Islamic Republic. Iranian officials have warned that any attempt to militarize Afghan territory would be considered a direct threat to national security and would provoke what they call decisive action. Meanwhile, in Washington, officials are keeping silent, denying any involvement while refusing to comment on intelligence leaks, but defense experts point out that this fits the long pattern of U.S. proxy strategies, using partner nations to maintain a footprint in volatile regions without direct accountability. The Arab nations involved are reportedly presenting the operation as a humanitarian and security partnership to stabilize Afghanistan and prevent extremist resurgence. However, analysts note that the airbase's location and scale suggest far greater strategic ambitions than just counterterrorism in Kabul. The Taliban government has neither confirmed nor denied the reports, but local journalists say senior Taliban officials have been seen meeting with Gulf representatives. The Taliban may view this as a lucrative deal, bringing investment and legitimacy at a time when they face deep economic isolation. For Washington, the move offers multiple advantages. By funding an Arab ally, the U.S. avoids the optics of reoccupation while still gaining access to a critical intelligence hub. This setup would allow surveillance over Iran, Pakistan, and even parts of Central Asia without any formal U.S. military footprint. But this maneuver comes at a dangerous time. Tensions between Tehran and Washington are already at their highest since the Gulf maritime incidents earlier this year, with Iran accusing the U.S. of fueling unrest across its borders. Any expansion of American influence in Afghanistan will likely trigger a new phase of regional confrontation. Reports suggest Iranian drones and radar units have been deployed near the eastern border. Tehran's defense forces have begun round-the-clock monitoring of Afghan airspace in anticipation of what they call foreign infiltration. Iran's parliament has also called for emergency discussions on strengthening border defenses and regional alliances. Analysts believe that if the U.S. and its Arab allies succeed in establishing a presence, this could reopen Afghanistan as a geopolitical flashpoint, drawing in Iran, China, Russia, and Pakistan, each vying for influence in the strategic corridor once dominated by NATO. China has also expressed quiet concern as the base sits near its Belt and Road infrastructure routes. Beijing fears renewed Western military activity could threaten its economic projects and investments in the region. This adds yet another layer of complexity to the fragile post-war landscape of Afghanistan. At the same time, Russia views the move as a direct challenge to its sphere of influence in Central Asia. Moscow has warned that any foreign occupation of Afghan territory without regional consultation would destabilize the entire region. Russian analysts have compared this scenario to a modern version of Cold War-based politics. Inside the Pentagon, discussions are reportedly focused on how to sustain regional surveillance operations after the loss of Bagram Airbase. The northern Afghan facility could provide the perfect substitute, allowing U.S. assets to maintain intelligence coverage across the region while avoiding political backlash at home. Afghan citizens living near the base have reported unusual activity, including night flights and heavy vehicle movements. They describe the presence of foreign personnel speaking Arabic and English, fueling speculation that the Arab nation involved is already preparing the ground for operations. Experts say this arrangement could also serve as a launch point for humanitarian missions or even covert drone campaigns under the guise of security cooperation. This mirrors previous U.S. strategies in Yemen and Somalia, where allied states hosted operations while Washington directed intelligence and logistics from afar. Iranian military commanders have issued warnings that they will not tolerate any encroachment near their borders. State television broadcast footage of anti-air systems being moved into position along the eastern frontier, with loud public statements emphasizing readiness for confrontation. This rising tension is sparking fear across the region. Many worry that Afghanistan could once again become the stage for proxy wars as global powers compete for influence. The Taliban's fragile control and economic desperation make the country vulnerable to external deals and manipulations for the United States. The strategy seems clear: stay involved without being visibly present. By using Arab partners to occupy key positions, they retain leverage in a region that remains vital for countering both Iran and China's growing power. This may also allow Washington to respond quickly to crises without direct troop deployments. If confirmed, this would mark the first major U.S.-backed re-entry into Afghan territory since the 2021 withdrawal, symbolizing a shift from traditional warfare to proxy control through allied states. It would also indicate that the post-Afghanistan era of U.S. disengagement is coming to an end. Tehran's next steps will be critical. Analysts predict Iran may boost cooperation with Russia or even the Taliban to prevent the establishment of any pro-Western base so close to its borders that could lead to new secretive alliances and covert operations in the months ahead. For now, the world watches as tension grows across the Afghan-Iranian frontier. What appears to be a quiet airbase revival may in fact be the opening chapter of a new shadow conflict between Washington and Tehran.